I'm sexual. I have specific desires that are deal breakers for me, non-negotiables, and that's okay. Like, that's part of stepping into our power.
I'm Amy.
I'm April.
Certified sex educators, sexperts of the year, and best-selling authors.
And we're on a mission to help you have more spicy, connected, and amazing shameless sex. Welcome to the Shameless Sex Revolution.
We're so close, it's like we have our own language. We're making sex and relationships shameless.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.
You were listening to a Pleasure Podcast. For more from our Sex Podcast Collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Happy Anal August. Guess what? April just tooted.
No.
Yes, you did.
Don't make stuff up.
Yeah, you did. She's like, right before I was recording, she's like, I got to toot.
If you
and then she
don't have it
lifts her
on
hip and kind of pushes it out.
actual record, if it's not recorded, then it's not real.
It really happened, but we're not recording with video.
Legend, what do you say about that?
Legend's like, my mom toots all the time. I think I experience her toots more than any other human. Actually, maybe your partner does.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and
your
he
partner's
also
number one.
blows some things up.
Okay, so your partner's number one. I'm number two. No, your partner's one. Legend is number two, and then I'm number three of all the people who get to experience the most April's toots.
Yeah.
She's allergic to cheese. Everyone. She's lactose
I didn't
intolerant.
eat any cheese though.
She eats cheese a lot.
I think
especially on business trips with me.
So this is erroneous information.
I'm just sharing this for Anal August. It comes out of your butt. It's Anal August.
Well,
all right. Anyways, this is not what this episode
is about. This is about rejection and disappointment because I'm disappointed in you talking about my toots.
And I'm gonna people please and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay."
Oh, so can I tell you a really brief story? And everyone out there listening, I was in after we recorded this episode, which was a couple of weeks ago. I was in, let's just say, the grocery store, okay? And I was there, and I was going in the aisle with my partner and asking what kind of bread he wanted because he likes bread. He likes a device to put his peanut butter and jelly on.
I like bread too.
Yeah, I'm not shaming the bread. So I was like, what kind of bread do you want? Do you want an English muffin? Do you want a bagel? Do you want... And he was like, I don't care, whatever you want. And I was like, stop fawning.
Ooh, yeah.
And some guy walked by and he's like, excuse me, what did you just say? I was like, oh, we just recorded an episode on my podcast. It's called Shameless Sex about fawning. Do you know flight, freeze?
Flight, freeze, fawn.
Fright. No, fright. Yeah. Is fright one?
Fight,
no.
Flight, freeze, fawn.
Fright might be a new one now as well.
Fuck.
And so I explained what fawning was, and I'm not going to explain it here because listen to the episode and Hailey will tell you she's an expert. Yeah. Her book is incredible. Stop people pleasing. Yeah. And that really happened. I meant to tell you.
Wait, what the person knew what fawning was when you said that or no?
No.
They're just like, what?
I told him what it was. And he's like, that's interesting. And then he looked at my partner and he's like, good luck, bro.
That's awesome. Like fist pump. Bro.
They kind of did fist bump. I think they elbowed, like elbow knocked each other or something.
Yeah. Like, so then they did the elbow thing.
Yes. So he said, see what I have to deal with. And I was like, oh, fuck off.
You're a blessing, Chip. I love dealing with you.
Do you?
You have to deal with me all the time. I'm a lot. Okay,
it's a give and take with all of us.
But we're not people pleasing right now. We're just being honest. So this episode's with Hailey Magee. Like April said, it's about rejection, disappointment, but especially about people pleasing. And so it's Stop People Pleasing and Find Your Power, which I believe is the name of her book as well.
It is.
She's amazing public speaker. This is really interesting, engaging, and I feel like if you can't relate to this in some way, then send me an email because I don't believe you.
I think that some people will work on their people pleasing. Yeah. We talk about it in our book as well.
Well, even aside from people pleasing, the fight, flight, freeze, all those things. But yes, yeah.
But the flight, fight, freeze. Why am I having trouble saying it?
Flight, freeze.
I just want to say fright, and then it covers all of them.
I mean, fright is a big part of all those things happening.
Right. Yeah. And fright.
Right.
Right. This is at the end of the day. This is fun. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not getting to a total point here. I do want to say that we covered a tiny bit of people pleasing in our book because it is an important part of having the sex life that folks really are after a lot
Yeah.
of times, because people pleasing can be something that can be debilitating to have pleasure.
Yeah.
That the pleasure that you deserve and that you desire.
Totally. It can 100% get in the way. And also if you don't, I'm not a people pleaser. This, again, I'm sure most people have experienced rejection, and maybe not just in romantic relationships or disappointment. So stay tuned. Before we get into the sex question, 2 announcements. Number 1, we talked about last time and has been around for a while. We have an Amazon wish list on Amazon.
Thank you to someone that just sent to us,
Yes.
right? The
There-
box.
It didn't
a box.
say who it was. Usually you can put in there like, this is from so and so. I'm like, oh, I know so and so, or I don't even know who so and so is. So whoever you are, mystery human, you sent us a recording box that we have had 2 on the list, so that we can each have one at home when we record from
For
home,
a
or when
magic wand.
yeah, or when we travel,
Nice.
because we have magic wand microphones. So thank you to
And we've
whoever
been
you
fighting
are.
over the box now.
I'm
Amy and
gonna
I mud wrestled.
I'm gonna freeze.
We Uber
I'm fawning.
wrestled.
Oh, Chip,
Oh,
you can
you
have
take-
it.
no, you
even
take
though
it.
no, you take
No,
it.
you.
No, you're pretty.
No, we mud wrestled in Uber Lube.
we lube wrestled in mud.
Yeah. This is a fun
This
day.
is sponsored by Uberlube. Actually, that is real. Okay, so anyways, if you want to buy us lovely gifts, go to the show notes here. If you can't see the show notes, then go to our website, shamelesssex.com, and look up this episode with Hailey Magee. There's an Amazon link there, and go and buy us lovely
And
gifts.
if you don't want to, that's okay too. Thank you for listening.
It
We
helps
appreciate
sponsor
you.
our show. Yeah.
And it does help
in our lifestyle.
It does. Well,
In
we
our
don't
travel.
we don't ask for anything that's really ridiculous.
I
Like a
I
hot
added
tub?
a couple. No, we're gonna probably put a hot tub on there.
A helicopter.
Yeah.
No one knows how to fly it.
I want.
I just
You know the two people who should never even learn to how to fly a
Who?
helicopter? You and I.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay,
I'd be so good.
Maybe you should. Remember when we were in this is okay, we'll continue on, you guys, but we were in Bali and we had a scooter.
Yeah.
You were, and I was like, I should not be the one driving the scooter.
I
You're like,
drive
I
great.
will. So it was the 2 of us driving all over Bali and you driving the scoot.
Yeah.
And you were great.
I have some videos of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the one. No, I'm like, anyways. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I know that. Sorry. It was
I drove a
projection.
scooter through
I
India
shouldn't.
too with my friend, and she was also on the back because she crashed into a wall. And I was like, "No, bitch, you're not driving this thing anymore."
I trust you to drive a scoot over most humans.
And a helicopter? No, I'm not qualified.
No, not yet.
I won't
If
fly.
anyone wants to sponsor April learning how to fly a helicopter, call 5555. Okay, we'll start a fund for that. All right, and one last announcement. Everyone, couples, attention couples of all
yes.
genders, all orientations. We've had so many requests from you to do a shameless sex retreat in a beautiful place, just like we have 2 in the last year. We did Costa Rica, and then we were in Tulum. Well, guess what? We are doing it November 12th to 17th, 2024 for couples in beautiful Costa Rica once again.
It's at the
the Spain.
Why am I having so much trouble
Just
talking?
fright?
I changed my lip gloss, and I think it's making my lips more sticky.
You remember when we had to read the audio book for
Yes,
our wonderful
and I had to
book?
go,
and we had to,
I need to redo that.
practice all these exercises.
So I'm going to articulate well.
Okay.
What I wanted to say is it's a guaranteed beautiful location because we've already had the same staff, the same location, and around the same time frame. So you're in for an incredible experience.
Yes.
Whoever you are out there. And we just released it, and there's only room for 6 couples.
Yep, exactly.
That's it.
And guess what, everyone? You can learn more. I go to shamelesssex.com. And for the rest of this month, this is August 2024 until August 31st, we are offering $500 off per couple if you sign up ASAP. The coupon code that you can use on our website, again, shamelesssex.com, is shameless couples. And this will expire soon. So grab it. And
August 31st,
August 31st.
2024.
And we hope to hang out with you in beautiful Costa Rica.
I wonder why we're having sticky lip situations today.
I am doing some exercises where if you actually looked at me right now, I am moving my face in a really weird way. And April's
are.
looking at me with, this is what they had us do when we were
I
reading the
agree.
audiobook.
And then also tapping the chest.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I am doing the best I can, and I am not a robot.
It does
so
matter.
It does.
It
matter.
matters. Okay,
I
you
did
know what-
change my lip gloss.
You know what
though.
really matters is this sex question. Are you
Okay,
ready?
well, I also want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
When you go to our website, shamelesssex.com, and you click on the link for the retreat,
yeah.
just remember that the price is per couple, and then the $500 off is per couple.
Yep.
Because we've had people asking about, is that per person? And we're like, no.
It's per couple, y'all.
It's per couple.
It's all inclusive.
I'm putting more of the
luxury.
lip gloss
Go
on.
get it right now.
Good job.
All right, everyone.
Amy just chapstick.
Sex question. I'm a chapstick gal, unless we're on video, you know. Okay, so sex question. Ready for it, Chip?
Yeah.
It's about anal. Yes. Are you surprised? My boyfriend really wants to have anal sex with me, but I've had some trauma around it with an ex who decided to slip it in without permission. No bueno, everyone listening. So I'm a little scared because that felt terrible. I've heard you two say you enjoy it, but I'm wondering if you can give me some tips on how I can get over my fear. My boyfriend is a great guy and I fully trust him, but I'm still a little scared.
This is a vulva owner?
I don't know.
Okay.
I assume so.
Either way, it's relevant.
Yeah, I assume so because just the slip it in part, I'm imagining it in the pussy and then the cock, the other boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend who's like, I'm just going to put it in your ass, which is terrible. No wonder it felt terrible. That's not how anal works. You need to relax the muscles before. And that's not what this person's asking. They're asking, how can I get over my fear? But I think part of that is the education of how anal should work in a way that's pleasurable, right? Like, so April, for you like anal sex with your partner, right? Does your partner ever just get to like shove it in?
No.
No,
absolutely not.
That's not how it works. So what do you usually do before the cock gets to go in your pussy?
Prep with a finger or a toy, a small toy, and then you add a little bit more and lube.
Always lube.
Well, for me, it goes without saying. I
but
can't
for
imagine.
People like, so the ex-boyfriend who's like, I can just shove it in your ass.
That hurts me.
Probably didn't add a bunch of lube to your ass or into their
or
cock
the
or
finger
whatever.
or cock or whatever.
And then they're not taking time. Yeah, that hurts me. I'm like, my butthole puckers in a not good way. And then my gut kind of feels like someone punched me in the stomach just thinking about it. Because that's what it feels like, though, when that happens.
Pain. And then also you can risk getting fissures, getting tears, tiny tears.
Yeah.
That's why don't ever use any sort of numbing creams or sprays or topical treatments.
Always feel what's happening.
Yes,
because you have to be able to know this doesn't feel good, so that they could lead to problems like tears, like April's saying. So for this person who's a little scared, so April's saying yes, of course, slowness, and we'll kind of tie all this together. No wonder you're scared. And you have heard us talk about enjoyment of anal sex. We have all kinds of episodes on how to do anal sex. And I'll give you one episode that I know off the top of my head, episode 108 with Charlie Glickman called Awesome Anal. I know because 108's mala beads.
Oh.
And we talk about it in our book.
You do this all the time with episode numbers, and I have no fucking idea how. We were talking about this today when we recorded an episode with Ann Hodder, which isn't out yet. But
there's ones that I quote. Often people are like, what's your favorite episodes? And I know like some of the episodes we have in our book in here, like Remy on the STI episodes, 120, because we wrote about it so much in our book.
You've talked about this and the numbers a lot, and I still don't remember.
You look at me
you
like
could ask me tomorrow.
Look,
what number is the STI episode?
What number's Charlie's?
I have no idea. 108.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You know why? Mala beads. There's 108.
I thought there were 99.
Prayer beads. Okay, never mind. Anyways, so go and listen to that because that'll be about the how-tos. But speaking to, and then also like for toys, April is talking about, starting with toys that are, smaller and like plugs and things. And we have a whole section on Pure Pleasure's website called Shameless Sex's Faves, which you say FAVs.
Favs. It's a Favs. It was missing the E.
If you go to purepleasureshop.com, you click Shameless Sex's Faves on the upper banner. If you use in any of the anal toys, not for the whole category, but any of the anal toys, if you use coupon code ANALAugust2024, and that just shows our favorite anal toys. If you use coupon code ANALAugust2024, you get 20% off. And if you just go to the anal category there, you'll get 20% off with Anal August 2024, but it's just for this month.
So Anal August 2024.
Shameless Sex, sorry, purepleasureshop.com. Oh shit, I'm losing my marbles too.
Well, I realize why my lips are sticky because I went to the dentist this morning and the lady, the hygienist, asked me, she's like, do you want fluoride? And I was like, sure. What's going to happen if I get fluoride? And she brushed it on. She's like, well, your lips might get sticky. And she listens to our podcast.
Yeah.
And if you're listening right now, I love you. And I do. I appreciate
still happening.
you. And the sticky, the fluoride's coming off because it strengthens. She said it strengthens my teeth, but it is, she said it would make my lips stick, but it would only last an hour. And that was
still happening
at 10 a.m. and it's 4:30.
I remember.
Damn it.
And then we'll finish answering this question in a second. But when we had I think we had like 2 back-to-back podcasts starting at 11, and I went in at 9:30 and I had
to the dentist.
Yeah, because remember I had the old fillings that I wanted. They were silver from when I was a kid, and April was like, "You need to change those because when you open your mouth real wide."
Well, you would make me take down photos when you would have your mouth open. You're like, you have to take that down. There's a silver filling.
Or you
like, okay.
So she's like, you need to get them done clear. So I went in to get them done in a clear or white or whatever. So and they're like, do you want any numbing? And I was like, nope, let's go for it. And there's 2 of them. And fucking didn't hurt at all. But because I was like, I need to podcast an hour and a half. I can't have both sides of my jaw like drooling. Anyways,
I didn't get any numbing. She just brushed it, but now I'm getting these little flicks of fluoride. I don't know. So I just wanted to say that this is what I was wondering. I'm like, what keeps happening in my mouth?
She's falling apart, everyone. Okay, so just the last part of this sex question. You're asking about your fear, right? But you're with a person that you trust. And so your fear doesn't just go away by learning about anal. But what I would suggest is, at least for me, my fear will go away or be lighter if I know my partner is learning about anal, right? And then we're having a conversation. So I would suggest go listen to episode 108 with your partner. And then talk about what you're learning together, and then talk about how you want to navigate anal sex. Like, should we get some toys? Like April said, let's go really slow. Maybe we're not even working to a cock, right? Let's start with just like a finger and a toy. And maybe in the next session, we would do something else. But once you have those conversations together and you learn together, you probably will feel a lot safer.
I want to add, yes, thank
you. Get Uber Lube.
Yes. And how to get over your fear. I think that getting over the fact that you have to get over your fear,
totally.
I think
is that people pleasing? No, it's not.
it could be if your partner really wants you. You said your boyfriend is a great guy and I fully trust him, but I'm still a little scared. And being scared about something that's painful from your past, your body goes into that recognition of its past. Your body keeps a score kind of thing, right? It's something that
the body's smart.
It's smart, and your brain will associate some of the sensations or feelings or even like the smells or the situation, the light with
once you have new
perhaps
experiences,
what happened before. Yeah.
You
so
can replace that.
Well, you can create new neural pathways, which we know about. There's a lot of great information for folks out there that want to like change their trauma or their shame. And you don't have to change yourself. There are always new ways to play if you are willing to explore. So if you are in fear though, and it's kind of in that space where you just can't get out of it, then you need to trust your partner, which it sounds like you already have. Yeah. And then the slower than slow, and then slower than that.
Talk about it.
And the toys could help just offset some of the, I will suggest this is my last piece because my fluoride coated teeth make it harder for me to speak today. So I will say that if your partner is down for just going slow, as we've talked about so many times, that's awesome. And know that certain times of if you are hormonal or menstruating, that sometimes anal can be a little bit more painful depending on what your cervix is doing. It can also be just not the right time. So you could revisit it and always start small and go slow and
work your way up.
And I think that's it. But don't have to get over your fear. Sometimes it just might not be for you. That's okay too.
Yeah. And then just if you want some recommendations for plugs, as April's saying, like using toys, if you go to Pure Pleasure's website.
I love that you're doing that. That's like fun.
Shameless Sex Faves. There's 2 recommendations. I think April would agree on this. One would be the booty plug, which is on Shameless Sex's Faves, BOOTIE on Pure Pleasure. And there's a small, medium, large. And so you can buy all the sizes, or if you want one to just kind of start with, I go with the medium.
And they're just solid silicone. You can boil them. You could, because it's just silicone, you can clean them super easily.
Dishwasher.
This is what I was going to say, and I forgot, is that sometimes using, and I know you have more product recommendations, but using something on your vulva, like a magic wand.
You have that orgasm before, and then your ass relaxes and open up.
And you bear down instead of tightening. That's also very important.
Or if you do this while you have a plug in, so you have your orgasm before, and then you plug in, your ass is already going to open and relax, but grip around the plug, which it's gripping at a wider rate because you have a plug in. And then when you pull the plug out, it'll come out quite easily. And then it's easier to have the booty sex.
Nice.
And then last recommendation for products, if you go, again, same thing at purepleasureshop.com, Shameless Sex Faves. There's a brand that's a little newer in the market that I really like. It's Bird, BIIRD, and it's the Bird Reggie, REGII, and it's a 2-piece anal plug set, so you get 2 different sizes to play with all in one kit.
Let me see. Turn your computer to me.
It's that right there.
Oh,
I think it's a woman-owned company.
Is it like the bottoms unscrew or something?
No. You get two plugs.
Oh, cool.
So different sizes. So
That's cool.
And they're really affordable.
Reggie. Okay.
Bird Reggie. I know when I saw this.
I have a friend named Reggie. I'm like, no, Reggie.
So
this
y'all
is not
making
for
it
you.
complicated by creating a name that has 2 eyes and bird. But anyways, the great toys. Okay, let's move to
That's fun.
to the bio.
We love to give recommendations for toys because toys
Especially
do
Anna.
help take the pressure off. So, all right, let's do the bio for Hailey Magee. And I did sing Bobby McGee to Hailey a little bit and not well. So I'm not going to do it for everyone now because you're like, April, shut the fuck
No,
up.
they're not. But go ahead,
I
continue.
love you all. Hailey Magee is a certified life coach who helps people around the world live empowered, assertive, and free. She is the author of Stop People Pleasing and Find Your Power. Hailey's refreshingly nuanced perspectives on boundary setting and self-advocacy have captured the attention of millions on social media. And her workshops and courses have welcomed tens of thousands of participants worldwide. To learn more, go to HaileyMagee.com.
And this is not a mistake. I just want to say, Chip, you really nailed that despite the things that are going on in your mouth.
You mean my fluoride?
Yeah, you really nailed that bio. Okay,
Yeah.
ready? Here's your episode. All right, everyone, it is interview time, and we are here today. Number one, just want to say, trying new microphones. If you're not watching us on YouTube, go watch us because our microphones,
It's a surprise.
it looks like the magic wand vibrator, which is April's favorite vibrator in the entire world.
They actually were once magic wands. They just were removed.
Oh, is that what happened? They
Yes.
hollowed them out?
And then a Hollywood audio expert made them into these 4 magic wand for us.
Okay, well, thank
Now
you,
you know.
Magic Wand in Hollywood. And I didn't know that part. That's awesome. So this is a test for our audio. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to work just fine. And we are excited to be here with Hailey Magee, author of Stop People Pleasing and Find Your Power. And before this, we started recording. April and I can totally resonate with people.
I want to sing Janis Joplin to Hailey Magee. No.
Oh, yeah.
Hailey Magee.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, I love that one.
So you already, everyone to the listening out there in the interwebs, you already heard a little bit about Hailey in our bio. But Hailey, first of all, welcome to our show. And second, can you please tell us and our listeners a little bit more about how you got to where you are today in the field of, well, it sounds like relationships and people pleasing, but sexuality.
Yeah, that whole soup. But yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, you guys. I feel like, God, when I think about what got me into this, it's probably like so many folks in this realm, which is the wounded healer thing, helping people with exactly what I struggle with.
Yep.
Yep, we're a good club. Yeah. So for me, like speaking up for myself was just something I struggled with for as long as I can remember, both like in and out of the bedroom. Everything from like, where do you want to go out to dinner tonight? Or do you want to do this? The answer was always, whatever you want. I don't care. I'm good. And it was just so hard for me to connect with my desires and boundaries. I was like the go with the flow girl, and I got a lot of
The
social
chill, cool,
rewards
like
for that.
Jim Chill. I'm easy.
Exactly. I'm so chill. And it was interesting because I had this major wake up call when I went through this devastating breakup, as a breakup will do. And I suddenly saw all the ways that I just abandoned myself when I was with other people. And I know so many people can relate to that. And it just led to this years long exploration of like codependency, people pleasing, anxious attachment, all the buzzwords that you see on like Instagram and beyond. So yeah, in 2018, I got certified as a coach to help people work on this pattern and like master the art of self-advocacy. And like personally, I've always been very sex positive, very kinky, sexually embodied. And I knew I wanted like sexual people pleasing to be a big part of my work with others. And since then, it's been amazing to me how many of my private clients who just come to work on like boundary setting and people pleasing in general, there's always a session where they're like, can we talk about something hard? And I'm like, yeah. So whether it's like faking orgasms or like how to tell their partners they don't like how they kiss, or like breaking the pattern of having sex with their husband as a routine, like all of this stuff. And I was like, there's a lot here. So now I'm here with you guys.
Well,
and it's awesome.
welcome. I love that. I've always wondered when I have people-pleasing friends or people-pleasing partners past, if those I know, but if they are also people-pleasing in the bedroom. I've never really asked because I'm not an expert in this. And so I'm happy to have you here.
Other people that tell you,
You know, when
they're
you go on,
doing-
like
yeah,
I have a lot of like girlfriends that are super decisive in the boardroom, for instance. They're like boss bitches. And then when it comes to, I'm like, what do you want? Like, I'll be visiting them. What do you want to do? I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, are you like this in the fucking bedroom? Because I'll make some decisions right now and you're a boss in the boardroom. But so I don't know because, and it's not, these are friends of mine for years and years, decades. And I always wonder that there's a difference between people pleasing, like being super bottomy, people pleasing all across the life, and then in the bedroom, which I think we're obviously going to focus on that because the other pieces are way too, probably we need 6 hours in the podcast. They're way
At
too
least.
deep. So
Couple days.
and I don't know if you are a Saturday Night Live fan. I've been a Saturday Night Live fan forever. And sometimes they do these skits that hit home. And they recently did a skit featuring a people pleaser support group. And it's like amazing how this satire and the comedy is amazing. So the dialogue is leaving out a lot, but specifically about the bedroom, as I was kind of just grasping or scratching the surface of. Can you tell us more about the skit, first of all, if you know it? I'm sure you do. And why the bedroom is different.
Yeah, I was so stoked when the skit came out because I was like, oh my God, like this is getting so much like national attention. But
This is my career.
Yeah, exactly. Like, woo. But it was basically, it was funny. It was definitely funny. It was modeled after, so you can imagine like an AA meeting equivalent, right? So there's this like church basement. It's kind of depressing and drab, and everyone's sitting there in their like business garb, like talking about, and the facilitator's like, all right, welcome to the people pleaser support group. Like, let's talk about your progress this week, and so the people reveal, like, instead of, in AA, they'll be like, I drank or I did this. They're like, yeah, I hate my girlfriend, but I proposed to her this week to make her happy. Or the one guy's like, I'm ruining the skit. I'm not funny like they are.
Oh
the one guy's like, yeah,
that's so funny to me. I mean, that was,
Right? And the one guy was like, oh, I had already eaten dinner, but then when my boyfriend asked me to go out to dinner, I said, yes, I'm so hungry. Like, and what's so funny is it seems like hyperbole, but I can tell you for a fact that like in my work with folks who grapple with people pleasing, these are real stories, like run of the mill things that people can really experience. But, in the whole skit, I was definitely a little bummed, even when Ariana Grande comes in and does her whole piece about how she doesn't want to leave her crappy job.
Josh Brolin, right, as a guest, and Ariana Grande is a musical guest. That I love when they skip the musical guest too. It's sick.
It's so good. She's so good and so funny. And, it was great. But I noticed, just like I feel like this conversation more generally, culturally, like there was no conversation about like sexual people pleasing. Like, how are you not speaking up about your desires in the bedroom? Like, or, you're kissing someone and you're hating how it feels and you wish they would just use less tongue, but like you don't say it. Like, I know.
Yeah.
Stuff like this. And so I'm really committed to talking about this because, again, in my work with clients of people pleasing more generally, almost all of them come to me wanting to talk about some sort of sexual people pleasing, but they don't feel comfortable talking about it openly because, like you said, it's hard. And like people don't know how to start the conversation, and people struggle to talk about their sexual desires in general. So add to that, like the vulnerability of people pleasing in the bedroom and all of this. I think people just don't know where to start.
Totally. And again, that's why we all have jobs.
This is the place to start.
Yeah, this is the place to start. I mean, our career, at least for April Night, is very much based around, the shame culture or people's lack of education, or the world, just the system in the world that is not teaching people how to talk openly about sex or like, treat people with consent or respect or whatever. Like, and I'm not saying like, hey, thank you everyone for sending us a paycheck for this. It's true. And I am a self-identified people pleaser who has done a lot of work around this and probably still needs to read her book, and I'm still doing work around this and probably will for the rest of my life.
Lifelong.
So,
yeah.
Yes, this is a journey, right? So question for you then, what are some of your thoughts about like why, like I have ideas where I do, but why someone might people please specifically in sex or in the bedroom or in romance, right? Why do people say yes when they mean no, or a maybe, or I don't know?
Oh my God. I feel like understanding the reasons are like, they help you be self-compassionate, because it's like, oh, I don't just do this because there's a reason why. And I feel like there are 3 big ones. I'd love to talk with you guys about each of the 3 actually, because they're each like,
we love the
juicy.
concise numbers.
I love it. I know, a list of 3, baby. So I think like a first one that feels kind of obvious, but when you look at the research on this, a big reason is because of gender roles and sexual scripts. So sexual scripts are basically how we culturally believe the genders should behave in sexual situations. right? And depending on like the gender you're looking at, the story is different. So for men especially, there's this cultural pervasive idea that men always want sex. And that might be archaic and outdated, but for many of us, it still kind of operates at the level of subconscious. And a 2019 study like found that more than half of the male participants in the study said they felt a like consistent pressure to engage in sexual activity from everyone from the media to their teammates to their friends, because it's what it means to be a man in this story. In my book, I tell the story of this guy, Ron, who, you know, he's out on a date with this lovely woman. They have this like wonderful chemistry. They're really hitting it off. It's like a first date, so that's kind of rare. And then at the doorway, she kind of like grabs his arm and she's like, hey, like, do you want to come in with me? And Ron really likes this girl. He's super into it. But he also kind of wants to take things slower. But he described me, he's like, I was so afraid to say that to her because I was afraid she would think less of me as a man.
Yeah, you're a man. Of course you would want to, go and move fast and have sex right away.
Exactly. And if you don't, like, what's wrong with you? Like, is there something wrong with you or something wrong with me as a woman? Because I don't want you, I'm not making you want to have sex with me. And so Ron like went ahead and did it. And he felt really icky and bad about it after because it wasn't what his body wanted. But you can see how pervasive that story is.
And society everywhere. It's just in culture and society everywhere.
I like that your example was about Ron, right? And I think for women, there's definitely a bit more of like a heavy caretaker culture, and just like to remind everyone that women, they birth children, so it makes sense why there would be this heavy caretaker culture. And so I think that there's like maybe an imbalance of like who's people pleasing more than others in gender roles. And I love that you said that though with this story about like even penis owning folks are people pleasing too.
And
absolutely.
Hailey, because I want to add to that too, it could be work in reverse. Sometimes women, if they're overly assertive, let's say, or decisive, in a lot of experiences, they call them bitchy. It's not like, oh, you don't people please. It can work in the opposite direction of just being this gender imbalance, right? And it doesn't have to be gendered either for everyone out there. It can be something that I've been told, like my decisiveness can be bitchy feeling, not in the bedroom necessarily. I'm really bottomy in the bedroom. I like to be dominated. However,
that's balance.
That's balance. And it still sometimes, because I'm assuming this is pretty common, this people pleasing in the bedroom when it comes to, just because of you're destigmatizing a lot of these roles, these gender roles, right? And so let's talk about that, and then we can talk about some of our own stuff.
Well, and I think you had two other ones though, right?
Oh, you did?
You're saying the first one, you had three that you wanted to list. So we had the first one, which is gender roles.
Hailey, you gotta bitch slap me, digitally bitch slap me, okay?
Oh man, but
I want to do it.
I'm a bottom too, so what do I do? But yeah, no, so just to close the loop on that thought, because absolutely. So if the script for men is like men always want sex, and again, these are sort of broad general statements that we've culturally internalized that are obviously not like the ultimate truth about gender, because it's so much more complex. Right. The women one that a lot of the research shows is like either sex is a woman's duty to maintain or perpetuate the relationship. And especially if you come from like a fundamentalist religion or a culture that supports this idea, a lot of women face that pressure in the bedroom. So to refuse it would not only be bad for your partner, I might lose love, but I might lose like what makes me a woman. So there's so much to unpack there, but I just wanted to underscore like 100% all the gender stuff coming from every direction. The second of the three, this whole like, why might we say yes when we mean no, is a history of trauma, which can explain so many of our like maladaptive coping patterns.
Yep.
But are y'all familiar with the fawn response?
Oh yeah, I'm a fawner. Yes. Fight, freeze, fawn. I mean, I do.
I fight. I'm a fucking fighter, man. I'll go down and blaze it.
She's like, yeah,
I need more of that energy.
Yeah, the fawn is like it's the people pleasing one. It's like, yes, yeah.
You're gonna have to work on digitally bitch slapping me, Hailey, on this podcast, okay?
I will.
Okay, I'm really gonna practice.
How about I just give April a hug every time we're face slap?
That's so fawn style, right?
My God, it is. Okay, tell our listeners what fawning is.
100%. So like, okay, so the fawn response is basically we're all familiar. I got you. I see you with fight, flight, freeze, right? Yeah. So when you're in danger or stressed out, your body will have one of these reactions to try to keep you safe. The fourth one that's become more popular recently is fawning. So instead of fighting or hugging, like, the fawn will basically seek safety by merging with the wishes, needs, or demands of others. That's
even if they have a no or it doesn't feel good. It's like,
yep.
let me,
So there's a dissonance. So on the outside, you're appearing really happy and go with the flow and like chill, but inside you're feeling anxious and dissociated. But it's how you learn to
April's
say
eyes are like,
excuse me.
yeah. She's like, whoa, this is, I knew about the other three, but well, look at this one.
Actually, you're right. I didn't know much. I'm happy that we're fawning. Like a
Fawning.
baby deer.
Yeah.
Mama.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing you have to understand about fawning in this conversation about sexual people pleasing is like, if you learned early on that it would keep you safe, it kind of becomes part of your programming. So even in the future, even if you're with a partner who you feel safe and secure and loving with and solid, if you learn to fawn younger, you may still continue to fawn even when you feel safe. Like I know I did this.
Mm-hmm.
So I had trauma in my background. I learned the fawn response, and then it would confuse the hell out of me because I would be with like a safe person who I was hooking up with, and I still would feel like I couldn't find the words to be like, I don't really want to, or I'm not in the mood. So it can continue on.
But they're like, tell me what you like. I don't know. I like everything. Or like, how does this feel? Like, great. Even though if you're, not feeling that in your body.
Right. 100%. It's like, oh, I love it so much. Like I can't feel anything. Like exactly things like that.
Mm-hmm. What's up, shameless sex fam? Is your sex life important to you? What about your relationships? And also, let me ask you this. Who can relate to this story? Things were once so good in the bedroom with my partner, and now it's a mess, and I don't know what to do.
Where's my happily ever after, Amy?
Yeah, what about me? Or how about so many aspects of my life are fantastic, but when it comes to sex and relationships, I feel so lost. Yep, been there.
Me too. And this is why you all need Shameless Sex,
The book.
We give you simple solutions and a framework that you can use. You can customize it to you. Yes, you. It gives you the tools, the right tools for your sex and relationship. So you get what you desire, and it's fun. It's playful, right, Amy? We're always playful.
It's kind of sexy.
And did I mention how easy we make it for you? You have to check out Shameless Sex. Plus, the testimonials, they're coming in from everywhere. And this book has helped people just like you recreate and create the sex life of their dreams. So you can do it too. Go to, where are they going, Amy?
ShamelessSex.com.
Oh, how easy is that? Just go to shamelesssex.com and click on the book, okay? And you can get it however you choose. If
You want
it
hardcover, audio.
Hardcover?
We got you hardly covered. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not, okay, wait, question about this fawning piece.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily people pleasing in a sense. It's doing something that you specifically don't want to do. Because I think of people pleasing as going with the flow but seething inside. But this is something that you probably don't want to do, but you go with it because you're fawning. You're lining your needs or your wants up with this other person, even though you don't want to at all.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're on autopilot. So it doesn't always feel like a conscious choice you're making. Like I know for me in my past sexual, it's not like I was like, all right, well, he really wants this, but I'm not sure, but I'm going to choose. It was much more automatic than that. It was just like, this is the script I follow when I'm in these situations. It's kind of a dissociated state. You're kind of just going with
like,
the flow.
It's like the trigger state. When April said you were talking about how you usually fight, right? You're not like, I'm going to fight, right? Your body's
just
doing that.
In the bedroom, hell no.
Yeah. Well, then she's like, give it to me. Yeah. But then if you have something that happens in the bedroom that doesn't feel good, right? Or maybe is actually like hurtful in some way. My understanding was it was just fight, flight, freeze. And the fawning is like a not like yesterday newer, but a thing that is actually really helpful for, at least for me to understand. Like, oh my God, I do all of them and I do certain ones more.
Yeah, it's like we all kind of have this like profile, like we come back to our, habituated response. And so for the fawn folks, that might be something you come up in the bedroom. And then when it's over, you look back and you're like, why the hell did I say I liked that? Why the hell did I go along? It's almost like you're not fully present with your experience and you realize it after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's one other one, right? Before we move on. I just want to make sure
there's anything wrong with these things, right? Do I need to go to deep therapy?
Right, you're like, wait, what about this?
Hailey's like, hey, you're really fucked up. I'm digitally bitch slapping you, and
I'm hugging her again. Yeah. Yes, hugging her again.
Give an extra arm for me. I feel that.
Right?
YouTube,
everyone.
No, there's nothing wrong. We all we all have some of these habituated responses. They were survival. I think it's really important to remember, whoa, this kept me safe in the past. This was how I learned to survive. It did me a major solid then. And now what I can work on is kind of helping remind myself that I actually am safe in the moment, so I don't have to fawn anymore. We basically have to learn how to regulate our nervous system through those moments so that we can actually say what we mean. And we can say, I don't like that, or I don't want to. And that's the work of a lifetime, right? That's that recovery work.
Thank you. You made me feel better. And then there's a third
we
one.
are unbroken.
Made me feel better.
Yes, I like this.
And the third one, which isn't, maybe not as intense as the previous two, is just sometimes we have sex or say yes when we mean no because we're using it to meet a different need. So specifically emotional intimacy. In some cases, sex can be an amazing way to foster emotional intimacy. It's part of the package, right? We enjoy that. But sometimes what'll happen is a relationship consistently isn't meeting your needs for emotional intimacy or connection. And, I'm sure we've all been there. We use sex as a substitute to try to meet those deeper needs. But, maybe we're trying to gain a partner's reassurance or get their approval or something. And even though we want the emotional connection, in the moment, we might not really want the sex part of that. But we use it because we feel like it's the only avenue available to us, So those are the top three.
You don't want to deep eye gaze. I mean, sometimes I can get awkward. You're like, deep eye gaze.
Can you deep eye gaze through Zoom? Let's all do it together.
Watch
us on YouTube, everyone. This is really awkward.
Okay. So I want to go over those three again, just to sum them up, kind of bullet points, since we kind of went back and forth a bit. So the first one,
right? The first one is gender roles and sexual scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, history of trauma, right? The fawn response. Yes, no, it's all. Yes,
yeah. No,
exactly.
You're doing a good job, Chip. You're doing a great job.
Remember the third one? Testing you, quizzing you.
Amy.
April.
Nope.
It is. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yes, because you want emotional intimacy.
Emotional.
And you're using sex as a substitute.
This is a fun game.
This is a fun game.
It's like we're on our Discord Jeopardy, but we're not.
Yes. And Hailey, you are just already, I just love the way that you respond. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's common, even if we are educators, doctors, experts in a field, it's easy to slip into old patterns, right? And breaking them, especially if you are doing things like faking orgasms because you want to please your partner, or maybe you're getting tied up often and you really don't want to be tied up. You want to use your hands. Or maybe you're like, wow, doggy style really hurts sometimes, whether you have a cock or a vulva or anything in between. Sometimes it hurts. Maybe I don't want to do that, even though my partner orgasms every time. Or so there's, I could go on and on.
Great examples.
So right. And those are because I'm using some examples in my life that have occurred where it's been a long time since I faked an orgasm. Hopefully, if I'm getting this right, probably about 10 years, maybe 9 years.
Yeah.
Because, maybe that's not true. 8 years because.
I'm about 8 years too.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Because I remember the last time I faked an orgasm, I kind of remember. And I was hooking up with this younger dude. He was in his mid 20s and I was in my mid 30s. And he slapped me really hard on the ass. And we hooked up 2 times and it hurt. And I had a handprint on my ass and I never asked for it. And I went along with it, even though I didn't like it. And I remember being and I didn't fake an orgasm then, but I was like, ow, that really hurt. And then didn't say much else after, but then I was pissed. The next day I was like, fuck you. Now I have to look at this handprint from you. And I don't want to see.
Maybe disappointed with yourself too.
I was disappointed in the fact that I didn't teach him anything about my needs. And that was when I decided, I made a solid commitment to myself that I was going to speak up for my needs in the bedroom. Did I do it every time? No, but I did make a promise about it. And that is what triggered that, because I had to cover that up with some makeup because I was hooking up with 3 different dudes. And I was like, it's none of the dude's business how I got slapped in the ass by some other dude. And I didn't like how it felt. So there is my story. And how common are these consequences that perhaps faking orgasms or doing something going along with it? You said 50% of folks?
It's so hard to say, right?
Okay.
But I wish I had a number, but it's so common. But I mean, when you think about it, we just described those 3 things that can create this dynamic. Most of us have experienced at least one of them, right? Add to that our culture's difficulty talking about needs and desires in the bedroom. And suddenly everyone's probably had at least a couple times when you're saying yes to something when you don't want it, or even feeling like I don't know, faking an orgasm. You guys have so much time on me, by the way. It's only been like 2 years since I faked. To me, that feels like a lifetime.
Mine's
and I'm so
actually
proud of it,
6.
but you're an
I was actually
inspiration.
wrong. Yeah, you're 2. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, no, mine's not 8, 6.
So
It's probably 5. Just thinking
I'm
back.
like, which number is it?
Different
Come on.
relationship. Yeah.
But for me, I know for me, I used to never be able to get off because I never used sex toys. I just hadn't come into my own on that yet. So I was convinced I couldn't get off. So in my connections, I was always
And we say get off, you
faking
mean orgasm, right? Yeah.
Right. Yes,
Okay,
orgasm.
Yeah.
And then I would always fake them because I was like, well, this is impossible for me anyway. So why don't I just metaphorically lubricate this experience for them so they think I'm having fun? And then it was only in my present romantic relationship where I had a really receptive partner and I was finally able to talk about my needs. And then came all the good stuff after with being able to orgasm and feeling comfortable enough.
Did you mean what you did with came just now? Because you just did something. Oh, no pun intended.
Oh, I'm so good.
That was really good. You can tell you're an author, a skilled author.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're seeing that in my sexual metaphor puns. Yeah.
And for myself too, being in a relationship with someone who, I'm not saying everyone, and this is heterosexual relationships, but you know what? I'm just going to say when you're having sex with pussies, we are complicated. We are internal. I know I'm speaking generalizing for everyone, but we can kind of see our clip boner. It's just not super obvious. It's you got to work that part of us out. And this is not just for clip people or pussy people, but a lot of people, if not more people than not, need a very fair amount of connection, of of arousal, of all kinds of things that require them to feel safe and unleashed. That's the name of her tour. So I think that what you're speaking to, and this is what brings us to the next question about the tools and tips, right? It would be very nice.
Can I add to something though?
Yeah.
And for Hailey as well, because I think shame can be a big piece of why people fake orgasms, or they say, oh, I don't want to make them feel bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though that didn't. And so having some sort of discussion, communication, contact with your partner or partners about the fact that it's not bad. It's about the journey and enjoying the pleasure. And so it's okay if you don't orgasm. That's when I came to terms with that it wasn't expected for either of us. Sometimes my partner, he's a penis owner, doesn't have an orgasm. And at first I was getting really in my head about it in the beginning of our relationship. After that was released, now I'm that was really fun. He's like, did you orgasm? And I'm like, no, because he can usually tell, but I'm like, no, but that was pure pleasure for me. And I really enjoyed
pure pleasure. I see what you did there too.
I didn't mean to do that actually, but
that was for you, Janice
That was for
Baldwin.
you.
Purepleasureshop.com. Sex shop with my mom.
that was totally accidental.
That was awesome.
Hailey, you're rubbing off on me.
Yeah. This is it must be all the hugs I'm giving you on this.
Man, I love that though. And I think you're completely right that the shame part, that's a similar in my book. I talk about taking the pressure off of getting off, because for me, the expectation that I would orgasm created a self-fulfilling prophecy where I felt ashamed. I felt like I couldn't. It was this mountain. And from that sort of shame mountain, there was no way I was going to relax enough to even get there if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, you're right. The journey is so much better than any sort of outcome. So I think taking the pressure off is huge.
Don't stop believing.
Oh my God,
it's about the journey. Get it? Get it?
I get
do.
it, but I also love watching you sing into the microphone that looks like a vibrator as you do that. That was awesome. Okay, so we did a little bit about kind of tools, right? So one would be with a partner that is, I'm just here to, like April said, I'm just here to enjoy pleasure, connect with you. It doesn't matter if we orgasm, but not everyone has that experience. So what are some of the other tools and tips for people to work on as they stop learning how to stop people pleasing?
Yeah, totally. I'd say one, and I think April, you kind of alluded to this earlier when you said you had that experience and one day you just made a promise to yourself that you were going to speak up. I think for a lot of my clients, part of that promise is actually preparing in advance the language that you could use were you to set a sexual boundary. Because in the moment, there's all of all this chemical stuff flooding through us. There's tension, there's anxiety. And so for my clients, it can be really hard to find the words in those moments, right? So even just coming up with a short little soundbite or rehearsing in the mirror.
A script. You're just
script.
scripting. Yes. Have it, write it on your phone, text it into your phone and then read it. I like this idea.
You could even be awkward, be like, This is hard for me to say, but I already wrote this, so I'm going to
read
say
it. Here, read it to you.
Yes.
Will you read this thing?
Theory, read this to my partner.
You have like a little scroll that you take out every time. You're like, thou shalt not.
AI generate a conversation for me that I can have with my partner. It is real. So I'm just saying it gets easier and easier. No excuses, everyone. You can get a script.
Yep. It helps so much. I remember when I was first working on this with my current partner, we practiced fully clothed in bed. He knew that I sometimes struggled to speak up in the moment because that whole fawn thing we talked about. And he would invite me. We also have kind of like a dom sub thing going on. So it was great because he could kind of instruct me. He's like, practice saying no to me. We're going to practice. Let's run through these scripts. And first of all, it was so hot and it was so connective and beautiful to be invited to say no by a partner. So I recommend that for folks who are in a dynamic like that. It can really help, or anyone really.
What do you think about a thank you when someone says something they don't want? When they're like,
thank you for your honesty, or thank you for your
just like they're like, someone's like, you're snuggling, and they just start to put like their hand on your shoulder, like, I'm not feeling sexual right now. For that other person to be like, thank you
for honoring your no.
Yeah, thank you for like hearing that.
I love it.
Instead of,
or you can say, bless your heart. That's what I say to the people that get mad that my dog is that my dog's off leash. I'm like, thank you for your feedback.
Oh my God. That's right. It's like the big smile.
Yeah.
I love the thank you because I think, and I don't think it's some cheesy thing. I think it's real because a tool that I recommend for folks is flipping the script, right? Like when someone's giving me contact I don't want, I know how that feels inside. It's like the icky, skin crawly, bleh. Yeah. Now I'm imagining that the roles were reversed, and unbeknownst to me, I was giving someone the icky skin crawl by my contact. I would absolutely want them to say something. So that thank you is 100% sincere. Like, thank you for teaching me that I can trust you to communicate your boundaries. It's hot. It's great. And
it reinforces that it's okay to voice your boundaries. I mean, if someone's like, oh my God, thank you so much for, which brings us to the next question.
Well, we already did a bunch of tips and tools. I feel like that was enough. Read the book, everyone. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to boss you. I'm going to stop people pleasing your ass, and I'm going to tell you to read the book. And sorry, I'll stop swearing now. I promise. Janice is mad at me. I can feel her.
Shit. Yeah. Sorry, Janice. My mom.
That's what Amy's good for, making me feel better.
And hugs.
She's fawning me. Oh.
Fact. Most pussy owners need some sort of clitoral stimulation to orgasm, and many are not having orgasms from penetrative sex.
Say what?
I know, right? This is one of the many reasons why we are obsessed with OMG Yes. Not only has it changed our lives in the orgasm department, but I've been recommending OMG Yes to my clients for years, and it's completely changed their sex lives as well. OMG Yes features scientific research of real vulva owners, aka women, showing techniques to pleasure the pussy. They turn the research into tasteful, educational short videos, animated modules, and infographics for easy visual learning.
They call it OMG Yes for a reason, because OMG Yes is for anyone who wants to learn about pussy pleasure or take it to the next level. Whether you're a beginner or someone who wants to take your orgasms from good to mind-blowing, then you need to check out OMG Yes. They have 3 seasons: external pleasure, internal pleasure, and sex toys. It's not a subscription service, y'all, so you don't need to download a single thing. And it's great for partners who want to pleasure that pussy too. And for listeners of our show, OMG Yes is offering 10% off when you go to omgyes.com/shameless. Again, that's omgyes.com/shameless to receive 10% off unlimited access towards enhancing your pleasure power forever. Newsflash, everybody. We are picky about our lubes.
Can we say uber picky?
Yes, we can. And let me tell you all why Uber Lube is our absolute favorite lube ever. Uber Lube is a luxurious silicone lubricant that I want all over my body. Yes, it's designed for sex because it enhances intimacy while allowing you to still feel the skin-on-skin contact. but it feels so good that I want it everywhere. Uberlube is long-lasting, leaves your skin feeling velvety smooth, and it's there when you want it, but then it dissipates when you're done.
Yes. Aside from using Uberlube for all of my sexy sessions, and I use it all the time, I also use it for massages, for my hair frizzies, to prevent chafing, and it brings out the color of your beautiful tattoos. Thousands of doctors and therapists in the US alone are recommending Uberlube to their patients because it's body-friendly, less likely to change the pH, and has vitamin E, so it feels moisturizing on the skin. Uberlube has no flavor or scent, which means it's also great for oral sex. And it comes in a beautiful glass bottle with a pump top, which means easy access to Pleasure Town.
Want to see why we think Uberlube is the best lube in the world? Then go to uberlube.com and use discount code SHAMELESS to get 10% off and free shipping. Again, that's uberlube.com right now with code SHAMELESS for 10% off and free shipping. Okay, so disappointment and rejection, I think for mostly anyone out there, can feel really hard and heavy, and it can be just shitty feeling altogether, right? Like you just like, this sucks balls, and not in the fun way where you're like having fun.
Like teabagging.
Yeah. So dealing with rejections is I think part of this process. So how can people learn to work with their own disappointment and or their fear of a rejection?
Yes, asking the hard questions. I love it though. It's real. I think like a couple thoughts come up around this. The first one sounds a little corny, but I do think it's true in that like a rejection of sex or sexual activity in a given moment is not a rejection of you as a person. As you spoke about before, there are so many factors that go into a person's interest in sex in a given moment, right? Like their mood, how busy their day was, how they're feeling in their body. So depersonalizing the rejection is, first of all, I think like really helpful. But then also I'm really into somatic stuff, like stuff in the body when it comes to like moving through difficult emotions. So like if you notice you're rejected, like being able to identify that in your body, whether it's like disappointment or shame or sadness, and finding just ways of kind of like being kind to yourself in that moment, which I know sounds corny, y'all, but I do actually think it makes a difference because you can kind of provide yourself some of that ground. So, taking some deep breaths, soothing yourself through the emotion so that you're not responding to your partner's rejection in a way that makes them afraid of setting boundaries with you in the future. Like we owe our partners that, you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. It's a like lifelong path. And you reminded me of the way you said it was similar to what I think Charlie Glickman has said before. Like rejection is not, especially just bringing like casual dating too. People are like, oh my God, I just went and hit on this person. They turned me down. Like it's not a rejection of you as a person because they don't know the whole, all of you, right? They're rejecting this opportunity or the presentation of something. And this could be with a long-term partner. You're saying, I would like to have sex now. And they're saying, I would not like to have sex now. And so they're like, oh, rejected. But so what
when it comes to what is sex?
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It could be like, well, when I say sex, like, that's why we wrote a book too. And ours is much more about sex and relationships. But so what if someone, and this is really common, is rejected again and again and again. And I am speaking more to like because this happens a lot in long-term relationships, right? And then there's like this dynamic, it gets stuck. Someone doesn't want to hit on the other.
And there's
person
resentment
anymore.
and anger.
Yeah.
Behind every complaint, there's a request, right?
Yeah. And then it keeps getting turned down again. I think it's the Gottman Institute that call it bids. Like you're making a bid for, hey, do you want to hang out with me? And someone's like, no, I do not. And you're like, oh, bid down. And then also like single people too, though, experience that. So what if you've experienced that so many times and you kind of feel stuck in that mindset of like, I'm going to keep getting rejected. How do you work through that?
God. Well, it's interesting. Like to me, what that brings up is this idea that like, this can be an opportunity for learning. So I think one of the first things, especially if it's happening in the same relationship, right? So you're in a long-term partnership, to me, that invites a question and a conversation because clearly there's some sort of mismatch taking place. And it doesn't mean someone's right or someone's wrong, but it does mean that maybe there's a mismatch in desire. Maybe there's an emotional disconnect happening. And for me, the first step is always, instead of just going into your sort of cave of shame and feeling bad about yourself in there, it's like, can we open up a conversation about what we each need and feel? Which is not a particularly sexy answer, but I think it's kind of what those moments necessitate because there's clearly an imbalance of some kind, which helps people, then you can kind of troubleshoot and find solutions. Or maybe that's the opportunity for someone to say, God, you know what? I've been rejecting you and saying no because the truth is I don't like when we do doggy style and we do it every Thursday and I'm sick of it. Can we do something else for God's sakes? And that could be a huge blossoming into a healthier sexual pattern. Well, and then I think the conversation, it's almost like a little different if it's happening among different people, because I think like it's this difficult thing where if you're getting, I'm not sure how I want to answer this. I guess it's the same idea of like gathering feedback. Like
it's a hard question, by the way.
It's really difficult.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I've written so many clients.
I'm nervous,
and I was like, "No, you're
doing great."
It's complicated because we're talking about rejection in long-term relationships, where it's communication. Let's be clear, go to therapy, but rejection in casual sex, in dating,
right.
That's a really tricky one.
That might be weeding out. This is how I look at it, Hailey, and you can tell me if you think this is accurate. I always tell my single friends that have been rejected many times over that even if you are into them, not only are they doing you a favor by not holding on, and they're doing themselves a favor as well, of course, by granted there's ways to handle rejection or do your rejecting if you're the rejector with more integrity, meaning stop ghosting and
love and kindness.
Yes, like, hey, this
right.
just isn't for me. And I've had friends get that text message or get that message on the dating apps, like, and I always commend the human on the other side that isn't ghosting. And for the ghosters out there, that if we're talking about single people, stop and be communicative. It's just another person, but you're doing yourself an injustice by staying with someone longer or more often, or not for the right reasons. If you know they want children and you are anti-children, you already had children, or they want marriage and you don't want to get married, then do them the favor, or if you care about them at all as a human being, of letting them move on by saying, hey, look, this just isn't for me. I'm not going to people please you and take away years of your life by staying with you because of the possibility that I might change in the future. Don't ever stay with someone based on the mights and the maybes and the may change, or wanting to change them.
And to piggyback with what you're saying, I think that's also brilliant, and everything you're saying too, Hailey, is like, so the single folks, right, who are like, I've been rejected in the dating world over and over and over again. I think with everything we've talked about, right, it's one, again, an opportunity. Okay, right. So, that didn't land. So like, okay, well, what about that? What about that person was I attracted to? Not an insult to them, but like, let me get more clear on my wants, needs, and desires. And also, I'm sorry, maybe when someone rejects you, we can say thank you.
Thank you for your rejection.
Thank you for being honest. And then like that in itself would probably blow most of their minds. They'd be like, well, so what? Someone just said thank you for that.
And they might be like, I really like this person. Maybe we can reconsider.
Get over here.
Manipulative tool that we just came up with.
No. What do you think about all this, Hailey? What's your perspective?
It's just like, I'm like slumping my face in my hand because it's hitting so hard, especially about this idea of not wasting people's time by putting on a mask to maintain a relationship that isn't authentic. Like I've just seen so many people, including myself, let's be honest, I've done this too. Like years of my life spent, because like I crave the connection so much, but I'm afraid of what happens if I'm honest. And for me, that tool of like flipping the script is one of my favorites. Because in this moment, you could imagine, what if you realize the person you were dating was hiding these critical truths, all for the sake of not wanting to hurt you or not wanting to make you feel bad? Like I would be pissed if I knew that were the case. So we all owe others that same degree of, integrity and dignity, just like you said.
This isn't something that's uncommon in long-term relationships as well. I just want to say I have dear friends that are in long-term marriages that are wildly unhappy and that I love so much. And I'm like, yo, I'm here for you again and again. And there's not abusive relationships. They're just not, some needs aren't getting met there. And this is common with a lot. They're all heterosexual couples that I know that I'm speaking to right now. And
non-heterosexual couples, y'all do it too, right?
I'm just speaking to what I know.
Like one couple that I know, including myself, that doesn't have moments of this.
Oh my God, no!
It's just like everyone's kind of doing it sometimes.
That doesn't mean you have to get a divorce, but if you're in a long-term relationship and you're constantly getting rejected because you want more physical intimacy, you want more physical connection with your partner, and your partner is unable to fulfill those needs after a certain amount of time, if your needs aren't getting met, what's going to happen? That rejection is going to turn into, even if you've done work on it, it's going to turn into either resentment or you're going to do something out of integrity that you probably don't want to hurt your partner by doing, but there's assets, there's children, there's all of these things that are complicated, but you're doing them an injustice and yourself an injustice by not just getting it fucking over with and moving on and finding someone else or other people that may fulfill your needs properly. And that's what I have to say about that. I'm very passionate about it because
I was like, yeah, so it was like mic drops, but don't drop that microphone because the microphones are awesome. Our magic wand microphone.
Yeah.
But it was.
And I think
that's great.
I have to chime on because I loved what you just said so much. And I think part of that too is also allowing sexual mismatch. It doesn't have to be, but if for you that is a big enough deal, like let it be a big deal. I know for me, like I'm a very sexual person, and there have been times in my past where I was being repeatedly rejected or the chemistry was so off. And there was this little gremlin voice in my mind being like, oh, it's not such a big deal though. Like you're fine. Like,
oh my God, you have a gremlin in your head too.
You and Amy are twinning right now. Amy talks like that.
But you have, oh my God, I'm so excited that I met someone else who has a gremlin in her head. So.
Oh my God. Mine is like Smeagol shaped. So I've got that little guy in my
Mine
head.
actually just looks like gremlins from Gremlins.
Oh, word. Okay, cool. You got the OG.
Here's a Smeagol.
My Smeagol. But and I just remember, I think a lot of that can do with kind of like, again, like internalized cultural pressures about the meaning of sex or how much it is allowed to mean, especially if I'm, for me specifically, a woman, I want kids one day. Should the sex really matter? But for me, a big part of that has been owning and allowing myself to say, I'm sexual. I have specific desires that are deal breakers for me, non-negotiables, and that's okay. Like that's part of stepping into our power.
Isn't it wild that all of these things, even though they're foundational pieces of our lives, they do all filter into your pleasure and into the bedroom? Because even though it seems like you are doing someone you love, you're doing them right by not being difficult or hard. You're not really doing them a favor, and you're not actually living up to your own needs and desires. So I think it's all so related. And I love this episode, but you have a book because I think that this deserves on so many levels, again, to say much more attention, I think, than it has received in the past. And your book came out in May 2024. That's this year. Right now we're recording this in July. It'll release later on, but it's a fairly new book as we're recording this. And I'm really stoked. I haven't had any time to read it, but I'm really stoked on the topic. I read some pieces, like some excerpts, and you're a beautiful writer. And the book is called Stop People Pleasing and Find Your Power. And let's talk about where people can buy your book. Also, how they can find you, work with you, find of more of Hailey Magee.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. I love that you did that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. First of all, it's so kind. Yeah, the book and all my stuff is on HaileyMagee.com. That's Magee, because I've got one of those weird last names.
Not like Bobby McGee, not like Bobby McGee, but it just sounds like it's Magee. Yes.
Yeah. HAILEYMAGEE. Also in the show notes, everyone.
Yep, or do. And so that's where you can get the book, my masterclass courses, like private coaching, all that good stuff. And yeah.
Cool.
And the book, chapter 19, is the sex chapter for those curious wanting a reading guide.
Hey,
I love that. Congratulations on being this amazing author of this topic that is, I think, never going to go away. You're going to have not only the power of resistance from people that don't even know that they're people pleasing, but you're also going to have people that want to find their power because they know they're people pleasers. So I think this is going to be a really huge episode. And I hope those folks listening out there, if you haven't rated Shameless Sex, go ahead and rate us on your favorite podcast listening app or site. You can also listen to us on YouTube. As we've mentioned a few times, you can find Hailey at Hailey Magee.
Hailey Magee.
Hailey Magee.
And her books everywhere. Like books are sold. Yes. I'm doing it phonetically. So she might be at our show in Seattle. This is going to come out after, but I hope we meet you in person.
Me too.
And stay tuned because we have so much going on at Shameless Sex. We've got retreats. We've got for couples. We've got more live shows that are in the mix. So check out Shameless Sex also on social media. We do post some cool stuff. And Hailey, thank you. Thank you so very much. This was really fun. And you are just an incredible life coach, an incredible author. And I learned
public speaker. I am.
Yes.
Yeah. We're particular about public. Thank you.
Coming from you two.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for having
get a little
me.
blush. Good thing we all wore pink for this one.
Yes, we did. I know. I wore my feminine mechanic outfit. I'm going to fix some cars after this. Just got my bangs trimmed. I can see again. It's great. It's a great day. So we love all of our Shameless Sex listeners. We will see you next Tuesday. And Hailey, we might see you Thursday. All right, y'all. Ciao for now.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.